from Craft and See with Laura B. How are y'all doing today? I'm okay. I'm okay. Anyway, I am here to bring to you the spring journal that I'm doing, and one of the centerfolds, in the center of the signature that I want to do. So I took this book, I think it was a book, yes, and I made the cover out of it. Now, let me take my prototype off. If any of you remember the a challenge brought to you by Tommy at Miss Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy, her Think Outside the Box challenge, my part was fabric, and I made the pinwheels and put it to a, made kind of like a tag, and then decided I wanted to put it on as a journal topper. I don't think I showed the final version because I kept playing with it. Pretty sure I glued all these on there anyway, but I glued more gems. That much I know that I did. Anyway, so here is the journal cover. I'm sorry, I just get so discombobulated the first couple minutes I'm on screen, no matter how many times on screen, haha. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? So what I've done is made it, and the only reason it's stuffed this full is because I have that in there. I purposely made it big because, you know, my chunky monkeys. So the actual spine, if you can see that, is right just under 3 inches, about 2.75. And what I did was, paper, joined it with bookbinding tape, covered that with fabric, and this fabric ties in, and I really liked the way it all looked together. So, put the corners on, and then I took a long strip of my faux leather, and this was, I'm glad I did not do this on camera because it was a thing and a half. It took a few tries to get it right, and it still wants to unglue. So, and that's what the crafters pick, which pretty much glues everything, but not so much this. So anyway, what I did is, you can see the hinge is one of these posts, Tim Holtz post. Hang on. There. And so then I just took my crocodile. No, it's a crocodile. Is it? Also, I lost my words. But anyway, you know, the We Are Memory Keepers hole punch thing. And punched 3 holes in it. It's 3/16 of a size or whatever it is, so that when it is closed, hopefully when I send it out, it will be at the smallest notch, and then there's 2 more to go just in case. You know, you got to let your belt out. So here are my 3 signatures. I'm sorry if I'm a little boo-hoo. Some of you may know I've been having horrible knee pain. Well, maybe not horrible, but anyway, today it's horrible. My left knee, I don't know if I blew my ACL or it's an LDL or I don't know, but something funky with it. And I went to the Walmart, aka Walmare, to get a new knee brace, you know, to give my old one a break so I can actually wash it once in a while. And I got a different brand that was $5 cheaper, and I've used this brand before, but it was a little bit shorter. And my knee, which seemed fine before, did not like it at all. And now it is extremely painful. So if I suddenly holler out, it's because I moved my knee wrong or held my mouth wrong while I moved. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to care. Anyway, so on with the show. So here are my 3 signatures, and I'll just quickly flip through. This is the first one or not. I sewed some lace on. I try to do similar but different with each one. So the papers that I have used are Spring Sings by Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio, Teal and Tattered, Martyna at Teal and Tattered, and then I've thrown in a little bit of Victoria Designs, her Hello from the Netherlands, plus her, I think I did a couple of those, which you're not going to see yet, and her spring florals. Floral spring, something like that. Anyway, so I sewed around using decorative stitching, which I'm kind of wonky on, so, you know, hey. Here's some of the tracing paper. Again, like I said, I just tried to do similar but different. This is some of the book page that I was given by, I'm sorry, here I go again. Mitzi, I am so sorry. And I'm going to skip the center page for right now. Mainly because it's torn apart and we're going to put it together. I've done some light stenciling on this. There you go. This is Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio. Again, did some stamping. I kind of tried to do pretty much the like I said, the same, similar but different. This calendar page is on here only because it didn't print out. If you can see where the white is, it fed wrong. It was misprint, but I used it anyway and just did that. So there's signature number 1, and we're going to work on this. We're going to finish that page spread. Spread 2, this lace, Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio, Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio, Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio. Same here. Tissue paper, or not tissue paper, tracing paper. And here is the center spread for this one. So it will open up like this. Hopefully you can see all that. And go this way. So I just took, printed out the 8.5 by 11 and then just glued it together. And then on the back, I stenciled it. And I can't stop. When I look at this, I can't help but remember that I was watching DC's Dawn of Justice League. Dawn of, their latest one, the Zack Snyder version. I think it was. Anyway, so there's signature number 2, which, I haven't sewn them in yet because I'm not ready to sew them in yet. And then the last one, did the lace over the spine. Always helps to reinforce it. Teal and Tattered. This is from Tinne at Victoria Designs, her spring florals. I think I will get the name and link it in the video in description box. So again, you can see that I've, made it so there's pockets. I kind of copied that from Mitzi. And then did the decorative stitching around. Spring Seams Floral. This is the center page of the signature. This is Tinne from Victoria Designs, and I just think it's gorgeous. And it's also a semi-gusseted pocket. It's not here, but it is partially on the sides. And then there we go. I'm pretty sure that is, recognize that, Michelle, Junk Journal Studio. So as you can see, again, similar, but tried to be different. And I might as well just tear that off, but I won't because I might want to do something with it. Okay. So I put this lace over the join because it kept wanting to, every time you bent it, it wanted to, it kind of came apart. It wouldn't stay together, and I didn't want to try to sew it. So anyway, so, and there's the back. All right, so let me put all this away so I don't get anything on it. Actually, let's put this up here. So how are you all today? If I did not ask, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. Here is the loose prototype of what I am going to do for the center spread on the first, whichever signature. There we go. And here are all my notes, of which, you know, I changed it up while I went. You might not be able to see because it's white on white. Oh, I changed my background paper, if you can see. And see, I keep moving that. I need to not move that because now I don't know if I'm centered or not. There we go. There. That way I know where I'm at all times. Where am I? Where am I? All right. So what I did, it has just been an afternoon. I do not know why. I have just been discombobulated and all over the map. I don't know if it's because my, ouch, because my knee hurts. Or I think what it is, I was at Walmart. I was down at the Walmart. And I'm walking, you know, I pass this gentleman, or I'm approaching this gentleman, you know, where it ships in the night like this. And I swear to you, it was my ex-boyfriend. And I never want to run into him. Ever, 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 ever. And I had a strong suspicion because, well, he's several years older than I am, that he was no longer amongst, out and about by himself. Let's just put it that way. Let's just say that. Anyway, our eyes met. I thought I might have seen a slight recognition on his part, but he did not do a double take. He did not turn around and watch me walk away, as I know this because I did him just to see if he was, I don't know. I have not seen him in 5 years. It might not have been him. I don't know. I do not know. I hope it wasn't. So anyway, I've already, because of that, this took me for flippin' ever to get the measurements right. And even at that, I had forgotten to, here, let me read this. I had forgotten that I wanted to cut this down. So my measurements are thus. The outside is roughly, and I say roughly, 7 3/4 by, which would be 10. So each one is, 7, you know, 5, 10. And then on the inside flap, this one right here is going to be, again, roughly 4.75, 4.5 by 1/4, so that, you know, fold. And then just shy of 6.5. And then these, and when I make notes to myself, I put a plus or a minus if it is a little slightly greater than or slightly less than. So it would be 5 3/8, that's with the 1/4 inch, and 4 1/8, which is with the 1/4 inch. So again, these are rough measurements, you know, and I'm sure this has been done before and somebody can explain it much better than I can. So, but this is what I did. These are how they turned out. I went ahead and inked them. Throughout this journal, I am using pickled raspberry, just because I really like the way it looks with the papers that I have chosen. This is my dead. I call it a dead. My best friend makes them. This is her first one I think she made for me. She also made another one, but it is not, it is, where is it? I was going to show it to you. It is out of commission right now because I am waiting for, I had to order the Velcro. And for some reason, this one doesn't want to attach to this. I have not figured out why. It does fine on this. It sticks, well, kind of well. Anyway, so, you know, dauber of excellence, which I think she calls them, because, well, the name that I called it can be confused for something else. So anyway, so we're gonna glue this together, and this will probably be our project today, so I can get this video up and ready to go for tomorrow. Now, I am not going to, I don't think, I could try to center it a little bit. So as you can see, I did round the edges as if it were a tag, and I just did, you know, smaller to larger. All right, so let me get started. Ooh. If I get a really, really loopy or have to stop suddenly, I ended up taking a half of Vicodin, which was a little bit more than half, because I have the crappiest, I'll bet cheapest pill splitter I could find, and it does not split evenly. It doesn't matter what you put it doesn't matter if you have it, put it in there on half, it doesn't split it right. So it ended up being over half. But anyway, anything stronger than a leave makes me, you know, need to run for the toilet. I'll just put it that way. So, yeah. Shouldn't wipe that on my shirt, but I just did. Because, again, I'm just all over the map today. So, anyway, if I end the video abruptly, that would be why. That I'm just not feeling well. So, let me see how that's going to look. So, what are you all doing? What are you all working on? And my question always is, what's the weather like in your neck of the woods? Well, it's 55 and off and on rainy today because we decided that, well, you know, here where I live, it decided that, oh, yesterday was a nice 72 degrees and mostly sunny and all that stuff. And today we're going to start a good 5 days, I think it is, of nothing but rain. So these are going to obviously fold in. So, and I originally had them that they would all meet at the bottom, but as I got to looking at it just before I started the video, I was like, no, I kind of like it like this. Like it like that. Oh. I was watching Mitzi's latest video just before I started this, and she calls me her good ship lollipop. And so whenever she says something and says, you know, the good ship lollipop, I instantly have to, you know, channel my inner, crying in a bucket, my inner Shirley Temple. So I've been, you know, singing what little I know of. Top. Yep. Yes, 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 yes. Excuse me, I'm just reaching for a towel. I had my wet towel there. Ew. Had a really good day yesterday. Try to make sure that's even with the other side, because it would not do. It would not do to be. See, and I gotta make sure again. My video that went up today, well, it was way too long. I shot it a couple days ago, but I didn't get it loaded until today. I had to fast forward, or I chose to fast forward because of time. It went a little bit over. And because you got to see me with my inability to, I'm directionally challenged even with paper. And I messed up. And I was just, oh, for goodness sakes. And I was just having a really hard time. Because like I said, it's one thing to have a happy accident. But I like to have a happy accident because I wanted it and not because I messed up. And I just couldn't quite get over it. Yeah. Sometimes I'm just not right in the right head space to be able to let that even thing go. There we go. So I did fast forward it because of that. I have to kind of chuckle at myself, even though, and if any of you know that, you know that while it may not be as significant as others, I am OCD with things being even or straight, and it actually does interfere with my daily life. It really does. As does being late. So there is that. See how well that went together. Oh, put your pin in your glue before you have. I ended up reorganizing my desk a little bit. I took that other peel and stick removable wall stickers from the $1.25 store. I use that term removable loosely because I got up this morning. I'm like, well, I want to take that off and put the $1.25 store contact paper on I bought because, you know, the other leafy stuff was starting to look pretty ratty and, you know, torn up and all that stuff. No, it took over an hour of goof off, a scraper, peeling, and actually at one point I took my drill with the little metal things that come out of it. You know, it's a cleaning thing to try to get some of it off. Yeah. So it took forever. And yeah, so much for removable. This was more removable because I had to keep repositioning it because, again, even and straight. Anyway, so that was the first thing I did this morning before I did anything else. And it, yeah. So there we go. It will go in. I think that's pretty. I do, but tulips are my favorite flowers. Tulips and daffodils, and I like the butterflies and the birds. And yes, these two, everything's mirrored, pretty much. Yeah, everything's mirrored. And it calls out to my matchy green squared in me. Sorry. I know, I try not to be so, but I am. So when we get to there, I like the tulip. I call these tulips. I don't know if they're tulips. Maybe they're buttercups. I don't know. It's just a setting on one of the stitches. And so when you get to the center, you'll be able to do this. And I might at some point make more pockets to put in there. I don't know right now. But what I do know is I want to stencil on this. So stand up. Straighten my board out again because that drives me nuts. Okay. I'll get my stencils plenty down. I do not need any more stencils. I have decided that, and I have them all hooked together so they can hang up on the pegboard. There we go. And these are the ones. There's my chicks out there making noise. So let me just pick a couple. I like that one. I like that one. I'm not choosing the ones that have multiple direction. I kind of want to just set it and forget it. This one, and I think that's all I have that don't have turn it this way and turn it that way. I don't feel like turning anything this way or that way. And I've already used those, so again, don't need to do the same thing with every one. Although this one is kind of cute too. There. So, what are y'all crafting? I hope that, you know, if you're watching my video, that you're ouch, don't do that. Crafting along, or not alone, you know, crafting something. You know, doing something. It's always good. Crafting is always good. It's always helpful. It's always balm for the soul. And it doesn't matter what you craft. You know, we don't have to craft the same thing. Okay, I gotta undo my knees. Yeah, I do not know what I did to my knee today. It is the worst that it has felt since this whole mess started, whatever it is. I do not know. So remember, you go in and tap, tap. If you're me and you kind of sometimes forget, I get in this rhythm and I go tap, tap, and then go like this. instead of something like that and then tap tap. And I am not going to put all the work I did into that big one where I did all the different colors. Yeah, I just don't have time for that today. I just don't want to take the time for that today. So, I accomplished quite a bit this week outside, so that makes me happy. Got the lawn. I don't know how you say it when it's, I call it weed ate. I weed ate the lawn with the weed eater. I may need to weed eat the lawn, but I weed ate it is the past tense. Probably not correct, but I don't care. That's what I say. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then I kind of just use my wet rag that I have next to me, because again, like I said, I don't like to use baby wipes. I got a couple reasons for that, mainly because they pill, and I can't stand the pilling on my fingers. You know, and there is the whole, you know, baby wipe thing. I'll never forget when I drove cross country with my uncle from moving to Texas, from Texas back to Oregon. I was about 7 months pregnant, and I had bought, this is back in the early 90s, I had bought the wet wipes, you know, for eating in the car and cleaning up a mess. And he's like, I just can't, no, I cannot use that. I cannot use that to wipe my mouth or anything, my hands, you know, because he'd had 2 kids at that point. And I didn't understand that. I was like, okay, whatever. And as a mother, it's like, oh, I see. Yeah, I couldn't do that with, you know, I go back in there and get it off the, and the challenge for me is always to keep the stencil from moving all over the place without taping it. And even though I'll use even though I will use washi tape, it's still sometimes, depending on the paper, will stick. So it's just trying to do rough. Ugh. It doesn't have to be that dark. I have the fear of a white blank page. I don't like it. I don't like it, Sam. I don't like it. Go. Yes, I'm being quiet. Sorry. If you're wondering where I went, I'm right here. I'm just concentrating. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, we will use this one because it has a dragonfly on it. And I like the dragonfly. Oh, we have a barbecue place in town. Right now it's a food truck. And I picked some up from best friend's husband. And then I got some for myself. And it is yummy, yummy, yummy in my tummy, tummy, tummy. I got what they call a tornado burger after the high school team. I don't know if it's a football team and or the basketball team, whichever. I do not know. But it is something. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I try to put my oxides back in the same order, but I rarely use the villainous potion. Mainly because, you know, it's a darker purple than I normally do. And yes, I know these are Dandelions. Good night, nurse. That was hard to call to mind. But I'm still going to use it. I don't care. I just try to get it not quite so dark, because it is a darker color, and boy howdy, that can go all sorts of darker than you want. Try to mirror that a little bit, but not go over too far. I'm trying to decide what I want to do. If you hear the chicks in the background, they're big. And noisy, and OMG, they are about as messy as 5 of my boys. My one boy wrapped into one. There we go. A little bit inking, a little bit of different colors. But yep, I cannot completely get away from my matchy green squared, as I call it. And then, oh, I could have used those, but I forgot I got them down. So, see, you get plenty out, and then you don't use it. Okay. So, I am not, like I said, I'm not sewing my signatures in yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Midori style. That's my favorite way to actually put them into the journal. So you can get them out, and it's just easier to remove them and all that stuff if you want to journal and or work, create them. So I just love this cover. Y'all have to tell me in the comments what you think of this cover. I'm sure this is nothing new because there's nothing new under the sun. There really isn't. But I just really like how it came together. Yes, it kind of goes. It goes, but it's not the same. You know, at least that's what I think. So anyway, here we go. So like I said, I'll do the Midori style. I don't know if it will work, if I'm a good enough seamstress to be able to stitch these closed. I highly doubt that I am. Yeah, I can pretty much say, and it would drive me insane if it wasn't perfectly down the middle, because, you know, you want it to close correctly. But here we are. And I will be back with more of this and working on this. I'm going to try to do this pretty much until I get it done. So I plan on shooting a lot of videos over the weekend. This one will go up on Friday, this Friday, the 5th. And then hopefully all next week, and I can get it done. I am participating again in Tommy from Miss Paper Crafting with Miss Tommy. Good night, nurse. I know this. Oh my gosh. Her Think Outside the Box challenge. I'm not up until the end of this month, May. And so stay tuned for that. I will be working on that, as well as maybe some other things. So I look forward to talking with you soon. As always, if you liked what you've seen, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know whenever I upload, and share with your friends. And I will talk to you later. Peace out.